Okay, so this is just a tutorial to go over the things that we talked about during the last class, about the criteria, the qualities that we would be looking for when we are picking a font on a portal like Google Fonts or the Font or Font Squirrel. Why do we choose one font and not the other? There are certain things that we need to look for, so I'm going to go over them really quickly, one by one. And the first one that we're going to look at is consistency. So in order to be able to do this, I picked Helvetica, which is a font that is really well known for being very, very well designed. It was designed by a typographer called Max Miedinger in the 1950s, and it's still in very wide usage today. It's one of the most widely used fonts in graphic design, and there's a reason for that. It's very, very well designed, and one of the things that it pays a special attention to is this thing we call consistency. Now, what that means is that the width of characters, the width right here, has to be equal. Medium width characters should match other medium widths, narrow ones other narrow ones, and wide ones other wide ones. So, if I take this red rectangle here and move it over to some of the other medium width fonts, you're going to see that it always fits. So the A, the B, the C, the G are medium width fonts. So if I take this rectangle and move it over here to the B, it's going to be a perfect fit. If I move it over to the C, again, it's going to be a perfect fit. And if I move it over to the G, again, it's going to be a perfect fit, like so. Now if I move it over to the S, which is actually also a medium width font, there it's going to be a little bit wider, and that has to do with the fact that historically in font design, the S, the glyph S, is always made a little bit narrower than the other medium ones. Now if I take this here, this is a narrow glyph, the F, and then we have the R here, and then we have a few other narrow glyphs as well, but I only have these two here right now. I move it over here, you're going to see that it's going to be equal. And then there are some very narrow glyphs, ultra narrow glyphs, like the L and the I. I don't have them here, but they would also be consistent. And then we have two letters which are wide, the M and the W. So if I take this here and move it over to the W, again, it's going to be the same width. So to come back to here, medium letters should all have the same width or very close. Narrow ones should have the same width, and then the wide ones should have the same width as well, and that is called consistency, and that is a criterion that you really need to pay attention to when you are looking for a font.